Okay, let's start with it. Okay, up to now we have completed a few chapters. So I just want to remember them. So we have just completed the fundamentals of ICT, and also the next is the number systems lesson as well as the logic gate lesson. All right. So let me tell exactly what kind of marks that you are getting for each lesson. So here, so very few, but this is related to many other subjects. This is sorry, many other chapters. This part is related to many other chapters, but directly you will get around 2 marks or 3 marks directly, but indirectly it is more, right? Indirectly it is more than 2. And number systems, again, you will get closer to 4 marks directly, but indirectly it is more. Logic gates, you will get directly closer to 12 marks, but indirectly again you'll get more, right? Anyway, now in the examination paper we have just completed closer to 2, 4, 6, and there are 18 marks, right? But in a certain exam this can be plus or minus 5, plus or minus 5. This can be like this 18 can be in a certain exam. This can be like 13 marks, but in some exams, it can go up to 23 marks, right? So, but the average is around 18. At least you will get 18 marks, right? But worst case, you will get 13 marks. Best case, you will get 23 marks even. So that is the possibility, right? That is the possibility. And the possibility can be this. Okay, now what? Now we need to cover, but most of the examination, it is in the low side, right? Most of the examination, it is in low side, between 13 to 18 marks for the fundamentals, number systems, logic gate lesson. So do you know what is the lesson which give you the highest marks? Which lesson will give you the highest marks in the exam?
I guess programming.
Yes, it's programming, right? Software engineering and basically the programming, Python, software engineering, Python together. So Python itself, some exams, it went up to 25 marks, right? Python itself. And the same time, the software, it will be around 10 marks, 35 marks. So in certain years, but this is the best case, right? This is the best case. But in the worst case, it will be 25. Let's say 20. The worst case, it is 20. Single lesson can carry closer to 20 marks. So if you analyze, if you have done these 3 lessons, if you have not done these 3 lessons, please let me know. Then I can forward you. I can forward you these videos of the past classes. So please let me know. Then I can forward you those things related to these lessons, either in Sinhala medium or English medium, whatever the preferred medium, tell me. I can forward it to you. And so therefore, today we are going to start our new lesson. That is this critical lesson. So once you start, you have to continue this. Do not miss any class in the middle, right? Do not miss any class in the middle. The reason is, so here this 20 marks actually needs, if you need this 20 marks, actually you need to maintain 90% attendance. If you need to get this 20 marks, at least maintain this 90% attendance. Maybe 10 days class, you can miss 1 day, right? But not more than that, because this lesson is related. This is the largest lesson and this is related to each other. Today's lesson is related to tomorrow, next week lesson. So next week lesson and then the next week lesson. Likewise, the relativity is high. So if you miss one, sometimes you might miss after that all the lessons. That is the thing, right? Therefore, be careful. Okay. So without much consideration, now I have given the introduction. Once we have completed this lesson, the SC and Python part, once it come here, so your pass is guaranteed. your pass is guaranteed, right? You will definitely pass the examination. The next step, we need to polish up. That too, actually, you will get a C. Closer to C result you will get, but that is just the pass mark, but we have to further polish up. So there are two more lessons, interesting lessons that you can score very well. That is SQL. SQL lesson, you can get a very good mark. And the next lesson is after SQL, the next lesson is HTML. If you have completed those two practical lessons, you will get 70 points in total. HTML, internet email, HTML, because it's not just HTML, right? Internet email, internet email, networking and HTML, and then SQL. So closer to 70 to 80 marks. You will get 70 to 80 marks there. So if you can complete those practical lessons, you don't want to think about by heart in any lesson in A-level ICT. කිසිම දෙයක් කටපාඩම් කරන්න නැහැ. In the examination, you have to go and refer the memory and write down without even reading a note. You can get A pass in the examination. Yesterday, there was one MCQ paper. I hope that you have seen the paper. If not, I will share it with you next day. So just go through the paper. So you need the practical exposure, that's it. You need the practical exposure. Okay, let's move to this lesson now. Okay, I will start with the software engineering. And to do this, you need to install Python in your computer. If you're not using a computer, if you're using a mobile phone, my recommendation is install QPython in mobile phone. In mobile phone, you can install QPython. If you're using a computer, you can use Python IDLE version 3. Right, you can install that. This is for the laptops, computers, and this is for the mobile phones. Because it's very easy. Even when you're going to the classes also, you can do this. The panti යන ගමන් අතරමැද ඉඳන් ඔයාලට නිකන් බස් එකේ යන ගමන් කෝඩ් ගහ ගහ යන්න පුළුවන්. And this will be interesting. මොකද Python is not just used for A-level ICT. Python is used for researchers in degrees and also in masters and PhD researchers even. Most of the platforms rank Python as the #1 popular programming language these days. And not only that, in some platforms it is #2, some platforms it is #1. It is one of the most popular language in the world in the recent past. No doubt about that. So you are learning, you're getting double benefit of learning these lessons. Okay. So first thing is that we are going to learn is software engineering. So before learning software engineering, I would like to highlight the first lesson that we have learned something called abstract model of information, where we have learned the basic data or raw facts are converted to information through processing. The processing is mathematical or logical thing, happens in the middle. That is intermediate thing, which is really happening in the middle. And processing can convert data into information. So if you cannot remember what are these data are raw facts, basic facts, or raw facts about something, someone, or some concept. Data are raw facts or basic facts about something, someone, or some concept. Example, white. So you can say white is a color. Yes, it is true. But that depends. So think about White House. White House is a building. It's not just about a color. It is the president's house in USA. It's a building. Then another thing, white people. White people are people, but they are not really in white color. They have light skin, but not white. That is white people. White House, white people. Then Duncan White. Think about Duncan White. Duncan White is basically, he's the person who won Olympic medal for Sri Lanka first time. But he's not white color. He's just an athlete. But his name is Duncan White. That's it. Likewise, similar to that, we have learned this we have learned in the chapter number 1 actually. Anyway, likewise, we have learned that data are basic facts, but when it becomes information, it is more valuable than this fundamental data. It's really valuable than this data. So we have learned about this data principle and information. And the next is, so we learned the golden rule of information, that information has highest value at the creation time. Those things we have learned in the fundamental lesson. Okay, then what is software? Right? Then what is software? Software is basically the engine, right? That drives, that creates, that handles, that stores, that communicates, that captures, that processes this information. Software can capture information, software can store information, software can communicate information, software can process information, everything. That is the engine. Okay, that is set of instructions to the computer. Not just that. So remember this definition, software is set of instruction plus related data structures plus related documentation, because earlier days in your childhood, maybe you used to call software as intangible instructions. But you are not children anymore. You are grown up. Now you are teens doing A-levels. Actually, you are upper teenagers. So after some few years, the teenage is also going to be over, right? Therefore, you are in your 17s, 18s, and therefore you need to define this in more formal way. So what is the formal way? Information right? Information has a highest value, right? Information has highest value with the creation time. We have learned about that. And that information is carefully handled by these, that information is carefully handled by this software, right? Okay, we have learned about that. And another thing that you need to know, software is one of the most valuable economic resource in the world. ලෝකයේ තියෙන ලොකුම ආර්ථික සම්පතක්, වටිනා සම්පතක්. හැම දෙයකටම වැඩිය වටිනවා. පත්තරන් වලට මැණික් වලටත් වැඩිය වටිනවා. Okay, why I'm telling like that? Think about the world's richest person. Jeff Bezos, owner of Amazon. Amazon කියන්නේ software. It's a web software. But it is a supermarket. It is a supermarket having no racks. රාක්ක නැති supermarket එකක්. ලෝකේ ඕනම තැනක තියෙන භාණ්ඩයක් විකුණන්න Amazon website එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. Facebook.com. Think about the value. It's in trillions. Facebook.com, it's a software, right? So it's handling information. ඒකත් software එකක් information handle කරන. Therefore, since information is one of the most valuable economic resource in the world, software will get that value automatically. So it is critical. That's why software engineers are paid really high. Normally, after 3 years, software engineer can earn more than 300,000, mostly more than 500,000 after 3 years. Right? If you are doing well, mostly more than 500,000 rupees per month. So that is the salary for software engineer. Interesting job. But some stress is there. Any job has a stress. That's the nature. Okay, software works with information, and information is most valuable economic resource. Therefore, software creation process is really critical. It's not easy. Okay, the main point I need you to write down. The reason is, I don't want you to write down everything, but only the main point as a start. Lesson is software engineering. Then just write about abstract model of information. Just remind. If you can remember these things, no need to write down. And then up to here. Green color after that I will definitely give the tute. But make a own, because at least we need a start. After that I will give you the complete tube, right? But this part you need to write down. Quickly do this. Right, then Okay, I said about the criticality. Failure of software can fail large businesses, and not only that, it can fail even lives, and even it can affect entire world. Software failure එකක් හින්දා මේ වගේ ඔය Boeing 737 Max ගුවන් යාන කීපයක් කඩන් වටනවා කියලාත් හිතනවා. ඒවා සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම ලෑන්ඩ් කරන්න ඕන. හරිද? ඒවා සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම ලෑන්ඩ් කරන්න ඕන. ඒ කම්පැනි එකට කාලයක් නඩුවකුත් ගිහිල්ලා ඒවා සෑහෙන කාලයක් ලෑන්ඩ් කරලා තියන්න ඕන. මේ ඒකේ මේන් ඉෂුව එක කියලා ගොඩාක්ම හිතන්නේ software issue එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ software කියන ඒ වගේ බලපෑම ගොඩක් වැඩි. If a software fail, it can be really critical. Software failure එකක් අපි හිතනවට වඩා ගොඩක් critical වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද අපි පාවිච්චි කරන Excel ම තමයි බැංකුවලත් පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. Same Excel that we are using is used by the banks. So think about the criticality. එතකොට ඒකේ බරපතලකම හිතලා බලන්න. Think about the criticality. Right? Therefore, software is critical. Failure of software can be really hazardous. Right? It can damage entire world even. ඒ හින්දා software ගැන අපි පරිස්සමෙන් වැඩ කරන්න ඕන. Okay, therefore we need to know a critical process of making software. Software can be built. That is true. Software ගොඩනගන්න පුළුවන්. හදන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක ඇත්ත. But normally it is not a very good thing. It's not advisable thing to build a software. Software එක ගොඩනගන එක එච්චර අර recommend කරන්න පුළුවන්, advise කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. It's not a really advisable thing to make a software. Because right, හේතුව තමයි software කියන්නේ මෙච්චර critical එකක් කියලා making කියලා කියන්නේ. Making is like making a cake. හරි cake හදනවා වගේ making a cake. Cake engineer කරන්නේ නැහැ නේ. Cake engineers have you seen? No. Cake engineer කරන්නේ making a cake. හරි making a roti. Making a pizza. Simple, right? මොනවා හරි පොඩි අවුලක් වෙන්නේ බඩේ අමාරුවක් හැදෙන්න පුළුවන්. හරි ඒක අපේ life critical වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මරුණත් මැරෙන්නේ එකයිනේ. pizza එක කන්න ගොඩක් මැරෙන්නේ. හරි but software එක එහෙම නැහැ. මම කියන්නේ නැහැ pizza engineer කරන්න ඕනේ එහෙම. But normally software need to be engineered due to this criticality. මේ බරපතලකම හින්දාම software engineer කරන්න ඕන. Right? What is engineering? Engineering is a step-by-step process, a carefully organized step-by-step sequence of sequence of activities. ක්‍රමානුකූලව organize කරපු activities ගොඩක් තමයි අපි engineering කියලා කියන්නේ. Engineering process එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. Okay. So in engineering process, so these are the main things that we need to know. So actually that is called systems development life cycle. Okay, let's write down this part also. No need to write down this Boeing issue and all. So, but this can be written. Error in a software might create disasters. Right? It can ruin a business, ruin a country, ruin lives and even the entire world. Therefore, it needs careful engineering approach, and engineering is what? It is a systematic approach. Please write down these 4 points. Easy. Okay, so what are the activities in software engineering process? This is a cyclic process. So many things in this world are going through cycles, even the world itself, right? We have a cycle, 24-hour cycle of a day. And we are actually revolving in a cycle, 365 days around the around the sun. That is year. That is a cycle. Life cycle, carbon cycle, water cycle. Everything is a cyclic process in this world. So we are also in cycles, right? Therefore, it's not a magic to see a cycle in many things. In many subjects, these cycles are common. So this cycle is called system development life cycle or software development life cycle, which can be summarized into these 7 steps. But this can be varied. I must tell, this can be vary book to book, syllabus to syllabus, exam to exam, can be vary. But anyway, generally we have to define these steps generally, right? But this can be vary. Some steps can be added, some steps can be missing. Generally, this is the SDLC. So starting from finding a problem, after that the requirement analysis, right? Finding the requirement analysis, then inside that you have something called functional, non-functional requirement identification, feasibility study, the practicality, right? Checking the practicality, feasibility study, and then system design, which is the plan, system development, actual coding comes there. This is where the building starts or the coding starts. Testing. You have to test what you have coded. Otherwise, how can you guarantee about this? You have to test this. And finally, deployment, handing over, and review and maintenance. These are the steps. Deployment, review, and maintenance. These are the steps. Okay, that is about the software process. Right? That is about the software process development life cycle. Actually, let me explain that using some ancient historical example. Okay, think about the ancient Homo sapiens, or Neanderthals, or even before that. So they had a fundamental problem. Actually, they were concerning about few things. Finding a shelter, maybe, finding food, water, oxygen, and reproduction. That's all. Need a food source, water source, reproduction, and having a place to live. Those are basic things. But when they reproduce and generate their own tribe, right? When the tribe was growing, ඒ ගෝත්‍රය වර්ධනය වෙලා කාලයක් ගිහිල්ලා දැන් මෙයාලා ප්‍රජනනය කළා කට්ටිය ඇඩ් වෙද්දි මොකද වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? ආහාර මදි වෙනවා, කෑම මදි වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට සිද්ධ වුණා තැනින් තැනට යන්න කෑම හොයාගෙන. They had to move from place to place. The problem was not enough food, but the solution is not praying for food. So they had no hashtag saying pray for food. Homo Neanderthals, pray for Neanderthals. No. They had to find the food. So the problem is not having food. So to find the food, the requirement is road, right? Requirement is ආහාර තමයි ඕනේ. හැබැයි ආහාර හොයාගන්න අපි කරන්න යන දේ හරියට අඳුරගත්තා නම් අපි යන්න ඕනේ තැනකට යන්න ඕන පාරක්. ප්‍රශ්නේ ආහාර තමයි. හැබැයි සොලියුෂන් එක පාරක්. ඒක අඩි පාරක්. Initially. එතකොට යාළගේ functional non-functional requirements. Functional requirements කියන්නේ කොහොමද මේක කරන්නේ ඇත්තටම. අපිට පාරක් ඕන. අපිට මේ පාරේ ඇවිදගෙන යන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. Functional කියන්නේ ඒවා. Functional කියන්නේ what we need to do. මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න එනවා. හරිද exam එකේ. What we need to do. That is functions. හරි වාහනයක functional requirement. Tell me a functional requirement of a vehicle. ඔයාලට හිතන විදිහට කියන්න මොනවාද වාහනයක තියෙන්න ඕන? A vehicle should be, we should be able to, yes, මොනවාද vehicle එක තියෙන්න ඕන දේවල්? අනිවාර්යයෙන්
PS තියෙන්න ඕනේ, engine එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ.
නෑ මම කියන vehicle එකෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන දේවල් ගැන හිතුවා.
යන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා කියන්නේ.
නෑ යන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක විතරක් නෙවෙයි එතන අපිට තියෙනවා නේද අපි break down කරන්න පස්සේ system එකක් විදියට. Move forward කියන්නේ එක. Reverse කියන්නේ තව එකක්.
Turn left and right.
Turn left, turn right, brake. Right. Signal left, signal right. Right. එතකොට night එකට move in night time නම් එතන තියෙනවා. Accelerate, slow down. Right? Those are the functional requirements. Right. එතකොට ඔය වගේ දැන් example එකේ අහන මේ වගේම functional requirement මොනවද? Exam question. එතකොට ඒ තමයි මේකේ කරන්න ඕන දේ. Then the limitation of these things. Limitation to these functional requirements are called non-functional requirements. Limitation. ඒ කියන්නේ වාහනයේට accelerate කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන, speed කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. තප්පරයකට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තප්පරයක් ඇතුළත පැයට කිලෝමීටර් 100ට ස්පීඩ් කරනවා කියන එක non functional. ඒ කියන්නේ ෆන්ක්ෂනල් එක තමයි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම වාහනේ ඇක්සලරේට් කරන්න පුළුවන්. රේස් කරලා යන්න පුළුවන්. non functional කියන්නේ ඒක කරන්න තියෙන limitations. තප්පරයක් ඇතුළත අන්න limit එක. තප්පරයක් within a second should be accelerated to 100 kmph. That is a limitation. In a brake, okay, within a fraction of a second, maybe within 10 nanoseconds, it should be communicated to the entire system. And non-functional. Brake ගහන්න ඕන. හැබැයි nanosecond 10ක් හෝ nanosecond 100ක් ඇතුළත හැම component එකටම මේ brake එක communicate වෙන්න ඕන. නැත්නම් ඉස්සර රෝද දෙක brake ගහදී පස්ස රෝද දෙක කරකි. It need to be coordinated and communicated. එතකොට ඒ ඔක්කොම මේවා කරද්දී engine එක කරකි. ඒ වගේ ඒවා coordinate වෙන්න. හරි ඔක්කොම මේවා කරන brake right පස්සේ brake ගහලා විනාඩි 5කට පස්සේ එහෙම බෑ. Need to be coordinated. Okay, that is what the non-functional requirement. Within 100, our limitation within 100 milliseconds or nanosecond need to be communicated. That is a non-functional. The turn left කියන එක functional. Turn left හැබැයි turn කරන්න පුළුවන් maximum turning angle is 35 degrees. That is non-functional. Understood? තේරුණාද මේ දෙක වෙනස functional non-functional හොයාගන්න හැටි? Yes or no? Hello? Did you understand this or not?
Yes sir.
ඒක හොයාගන්න ඕන එක්සෑම් එක යනවා. මේ චූටි දෙයක් අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා. හැබැයි මෙතන ලකුණු දෙකක් තියෙනවා. අපි මේ ඉගෙන ගත්ත පුංචි දේ ඇතුලේ ලකුණු දෙකක් තියෙනවා. නිකම් බලමු 2020 ගේ පේපර් එක මම ඔයාලට පෙන්නලා ඉන්න එපා මේක. ප්‍රූව් කරන එක හොඳයිනේ. ඩේට් නෙමෙයි නේද මේ. sorry. Name matches 2020. Then beta, searching for the funds, searching for this and 2011 single medium English medium නැද්ද? paper 1 කියලා දෙනවා මොකක්ද? A-level නේ. Okay. ඔහොම යනකොට in some questions බලමු 2020 තිබ්බද කියලා මට මතක නැහැ. Then which of the following indicate functional requirements? Can you answer this question? That's why I said now we have started and it is only 36 minutes of a lesson we have done, only 36 minutes. But this is you are going to get 2 marks if you answer this question. So can you try to answer this question? Which of the following indicate functional requirements? Users should be allowed to update their contact address and phone numbers. Is it functional or non-functional? Is it functional or non-functional? වාහනයක් ගැන නෙමෙයි මේ අහන්නේ මොකක් කර වෙන සිස්ටම් එකක් ගැන. Users should be allowed to update their contact address and phone numbers. Functional. Any user must be responded within 2 seconds, 2 milliseconds. Functional or non-functional?
Non-functional.
Non-functional. අයියර limitation එකනේ තේරෙනවද? දැන් මේ time එකෙන් එක limit කරලා තියෙනවා. අන්න non-functional. Correct. System must be easy to change. Easy to change.
Non-functional.
Non-functional. But the easy කියන්නේ ඒකේ limitation එක. That is how it should be done නේද? කොහොමද ඒක කරන්න ඕනේ? Easy to change. Okay, A only. You'll get marks for this question. See, that's why I said even that the question that I'm asked that that is why you should learn this really carefully, right? හරියටම අර point එකටම ඉගෙන ගන්න. මාර ලේසි උත්තර ලියන්න. ගොඩක් ළමයින්ට ඔය තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ හොයාගෙන. හේතුව ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට ගොඩාක් දේවල් ඉගෙනගෙන. හැබැයි අර point එක ඉගෙනගෙන නැහැ. මම point එක විතරයි කියන්නේ. ඔයාලට ගොඩාක් ඔක්කොම දේවල් කියලා දෙනවා ඒක ඇත්ත. හැබැයි mainly I'm highlighting the points. No need to worry much about the more content, more notes, tudes, fill කරලා ඔය වැඩක් නැහැ. ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න ඕන මොනවද උත්තර ලියන්න කියලා. right? So get that to the head. That is what you need to do. Okay. Let's go back to the lesson. Right? This is very simple thing. හරි දැන් මේ තියෙන ඕන note එක ඔච්චරයි. අනේ මේසු hina වෙනවා දැක්කම. ඒක උත්තර ලියන්න ඕන note එක ඔච්චරයි. Non-functional limitations on the functional requirement. Functional means what system should achieve. Really මොනවද කරන්න ඕන. Non-functional කියන්නේ ඒවට තියෙන limitation. That's all. That's enough, right? You can answer the question. Feasibility study, the practicality. කොච්චර මේක ගැලපෙනවද solution එක. අර පරණ මිනිස්සු ඇවිදගෙන යන්න පාරක් හදන්න තීරණය කරනවා. ඒකට ඕන දේවල් බලනවා. අපි ඇවිදින්න ඕන. ඇවිදින්න නම් මෙහෙම පාර තියෙන්න ඕන. මේකේ ගල් දෙන්න බෑ. මේ sorry මේකේ මේ කඳුල කූ පල්ලම් බෑ. ඒ වගේ functional ටික යාලා හදා ගන්නවා. functional ටිකයි non functional ටිකයි. ඒක කොහොමද වෙන්න ඕන කියලා. හරි. කොහොමද වෙන්න ඕන කියන එක තමයි අර ලොකු කඳුල කූ පල්ලම් බෑ කියන එක. පාර තියෙන්න ඕන. හරි. පාරේ කඳු තියෙන්න පුළුවන්, පල්ලම් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඕනවට වැඩිය දරුණු බෑවුම් සහ දරුණු කඳු නැති වෙනවා. So these are the things. Then finally finding the best alternative. ඒක උනත් පුළුවන් ගස් උඩින් යන්න හදනවද නේද? වඳුරු වගේ පැනපැන. නැත්නම් පොළවෙන් යනවද? බිම මේ බඩ ගාගෙන යනවද? So these are the things. What is practical? Then they discovered what is really practical. Walking is the practical way of doing that. Then system designing. This is where the plan comes. ඒගොල්ලෝ plan එකක් ගහනවා. අපි යමු දකුණු අත පැත්තට. ඊට පස්සේ මෙහි පැත්තට මේ පැත්තට සත්තු ගොඩක් අර පැත්තේ ඉන්නවා. ඒ කියන්නේ කෑම මෙහි ගොඩක් ඇති. Likewise, planning is needed. Then planning වලට පස්සේ testing. sorry planning වලට පස්සේ ඇත්තටම හදන්න ඕනේ. ඇත්තටම අඩිපාර මේගොල්ලෝ හදනවා. ඔන්න පරණ නේඩ තාල්ස්ලා ඒගොල්ලෝ කට්ටිය ඔන්න අඩිපාර හදාගෙන යන්න හදනවා. That is the actual thing. After that they need to test. එයාලා හැමෝටම දෙන්නේ නැහැ පුතේ. එයාලා ටෙස්ට් කරලා බලනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වැඩි හිටියෝ ගිහිල්ලා ඔබ හැඩි දැඩි කට්ටිය ගිහිල්ලා බලනවා මේක හරියද අවුලක් නැත්නම් ආද එහෙනම් පොඩි ළමයිලුයි මේ ගහන කට්ටිය ඔක්කොම යනවා. Okay, deployment. එහෙම නම් තමයි කට්ටියට ඔන්න බාර දෙන්නේ. Finally review and maintain. කලින් නාය යනවා ගස් වැටෙනවා. ප්‍රශ්නනේ නේද? ඔන්න review and maintenance තමයි. කොහොම තමයි සිස්ටම් එකක් හැදෙන්නේ. ඒතර කාලයක් ගිහලා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ළමයින්ට හිතෙනවා මේ තාත්තලා ගිය මේ පාරේ යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. තාත්තලා ගිය අඩි පාරවල් ගිහලා මඩ ගා ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට අනිත් එක මේ කරත්ත දක්කන් එන්න ටිකක් ලොකු පාරක් ඕනේ කියලා ඒගොල්ලෝ බලනවා තව ලොකු එකක් හදන්න. ගල් එහෙම දාලා. වැඩේ එතනින් ඉවර වෙන්න ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ළමයි හිතන මේ අපේ තාත්තලා ගිය පාරවල් හරියන්නේ නැහැ. මොනවද මේ ගල් වල මේ උඩ ගියනවා බිම යනවා මේ ගැස්සි අයියෝ මෙහෙම නම් යන්න බෑ තාර ටිකක් දාගෙන ඉන්න. But that is also not the new problem is basically after that මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතන ඒ තාර එකත් comfortable මදිනිය වාහනේ පොඩ්ඩක් ඩක ගන්නවා. ඒ වාහනේම හදලා. then එතකොට එහෙම නොවන පාරක් comfortable road carpet. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකත් මදි නිකන් traffic නේ හැම වෙලේම මේ පාරේ හරියන්නේ නැහැ ඉඩ දෙන්න බෑ වාහනේකට. Traffic is that is the next problem. බලන්න problem එක බඩගින්නේ ඉඳන් traffic වලට වෙනකම් problem එක develop වෙලා. Right? That is why the initial problem is hunger. But this is in the first cycle. But after few cycles, now actually the recent days the problem is traffic, not the hunger. Man, then the first traffic. බඩගින්නට වැඩි traffic එක ගැන හිතන්න ඕන පාරක් හදන්න. So that is how the system development happens. That is why it is a cyclic process. බලන්න Windows උනා Windows 3.1 හැදුවා ඊට පස්සේ 95 98 ME XP Vista 7 Windows 2000 likewise there are many editions 7 8 8.1 10 11 ඉවර වෙන්නේ නැහැ. තව එනවා 12 15 ඔය ඔක්කොම iPhone එකක් ගන්න all these versions are there. The reason is the new one is addressing new set of problems. It is a cyclic process. Always come up with a new process. Okay, now, okay, my last request to write down a note. After that, don't worry, I will not give, right? After that, please write down SDLC. That is really needed, right? Today is theory, but next day I will be starting the practical. If possible, today also I will start, but today let's do the theory part. Right. Now you know about the software process, software engineering process, and also the software development life cycle. Okay, then let's explore these steps very quickly. Problem definition is the place where the system analyst, right? He's the person who do this job. He's the first, actually, he's kind of a very responsible person. Sometimes he's paid more than software engineers because he's transforming the real world or the business problem to a software problem. එයා තමා ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න දැන් බැංකුවක නම් එයා ගිහිල්ලා බැංක් සිස්ටම් එකට මොකක්ද ඕන කියන එක software engineers වලට යනකම් ගෙනියන්නේ මෙයා. So he's the one. එයාකට බැංකින් දැනගන්නත් ඕන software දැනගන්නත් ඕන. ඒ දෙපැත්තම දැනගෙන තමයි එයා මේ වැඩ කරන්නේ. ඒකෙන් සමහරට එයාට ටිකක් වැඩිපුර pay කරනවා. Right? The name is system analyst. The post, job level. Then actually requirement analysis is also his job. He's finding out the requirement, system requirement. So this need to be done carefully. Sometimes questionnaires can be given, questionnaires දීලා ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න පුළුවන්, interview, direct observation, ගිහින් බලන් ඉන්න පුළුවන්, ප්‍රශ්න දීලා ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න පුළුවන්, ඔය වගේ ගොඩක් දේවල් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? After doing all these things, then the problem is discovered and the requirements are analyzed. That is number 2, requirement analysis. Then third thing is, okay, that is number 2. Third thing is system designing. This is important thing and we are going to explore this further. System designing, right? We are going to explore this further. The system designing is the place where the plan is created. Make it diagrams and we will learn about those diagrams too. Right? There are some diagrams that we need to draw under this, and we will learn about them, and we will create and we will draw diagrams, and there will be questions from this section. Drawing diagrams and all, there will be questions. Okay, that is the next system designing. And after the system designing phase, actually there is a main kind of diagram that we are going to learn, that is flowchart. In all the examinations, you will be given this question related to flowchart. හැම exam එකකම හැම අවුරුද්දකම වගේ මේ part එක එනවා. flowchart එකක් එක්ක තේරුම් ගන්න, නැත්නම් අඳින්න, නැත්නම් flowchart එකක් බලලා මොනවා හරි දෙයකට උත්තර ලියන්න. දැන් අර 2020 exam එකේදී උනත් 2020 exam let's see the paper. Sometimes not sure, balam 2020 paper. Oh, this you can see flowchart. So that is right. These things are important. We will learn how to read a flowchart, how to understand a flowchart, and how to work with a flowchart, how to draw flowcharts. We'll learn, right? So that is actually there in this paper also. Each and every paper you see, there will be a flowchart, and this is another design diagram. This is for the databases. Right, my databases for it in a design diagram ekak. Right, okay, this is another one. And okay, these are the things. In each and every exam, you will get a question. So we will learn about them as well. Then the next thing is, it has symbols, standard symbols, flowchart. So this O-level ICT වලත් මෙව තියෙනවා. So the standard symbols are starting and stopping, that is ellipse. Process is a rectangle. Then input output is both are represented, input output both are represented using parallelogram, samantara. Decision using a diamond. connector is to connect multiple paths together, data flow using arrows. Right? Why the flow chart is given that much of importance and the priority? The reason is when we write something, it's difficult to read and understand because language is kind of ambiguous, because person to person, the ability of using language and ability of reading, understanding can be different. Therefore, it's kind of a variable thing. But if it is if it is symbolic thing, then actually symbol can explain things better than language, even though there is no large description. Right? There is no large description, that is true. Even though it is such a thing, but these symbols can formally tell what's really going on. Right? Symbols can formally explain what's really going on. Therefore, symbols are given more priority. And also it is easy and nice to read and understand, easy to present. And everyone use same set of symbols, so it is formal. Right? That is why we are going to learn about this flowchart drawing thing. Right? Pseudocode is another one. Pseudocode is basically structured English coding, but not real code, fake code. Pseudo it's not real code, it is fake code. Why this fake code is written? Because that can be easily read and understand by anyone. And actually, this part is then for focusing about this system designing. And actually, this part we will be starting in next day. Actually, we need to learn about the development. We will do in this lesson. Testing, we will do in this lesson. Deployment, we will complete gradually. But the largest space is taken by the system development. Next day, we will start system design development together. So please install the software that I mentioned. And let's start that next week. Okay, I'll stop from here. Then have a nice day. Good night. Bye.
Excellent.